Now this mind cannot stay in a vacuum and needs a body to dwell in. I repeat, mind cannot stay in vacuum. It's simply thought. It needs a body to dwell in. And such human bodies form a workforce. It brings us to our next topic, creating contemporary and differentiated workforce for India's retail sector. Please welcome Bimaljeet Singh Bhasin, President Skills and Career Business at NIIT Limited, in discussion with Rajesh Jain, Advisor and ex-Senior Vice President Sales, RA Business at Daikin Airconditioning India Private Limited, Sumit Chandna, Senior Vice President and Head Retail Business, Bata India. Over to you, Bimal.
Thank you, Dilip. I think I must also accept a sudden development that Sumit is actually down with COVID. So in place of Sumit, we have Pankaj, who heads a business line at Bata India, joining us. Pankaj, thank you very much for joining for the session. Right, we understand Sumit is not well, but thank you very much for joining for the session. And Rajesh, welcome to you as well. Can we have Rajesh as well?
Thank you, Bimal. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Bimal.
Hi, Rajesh. Hi. Pankaj and Rajesh, firstly, I mean, of course, thank you very much for joining us, but I think the presence of two of you is also adding a very important dimension to the discussion at Confluence. You both of you represent two sectors, which is, where the end consumer is really spending money, right? So most of our, discussions have been with either large technology companies or large global capability centers, which are service providers or captives to enterprises. So they really they work with enterprises, so really work in the more B2B environment, or in the banking and the financial services space, which obviously also where the customer is more managing his money, either saving or investing money. Yeah. You two represent a sector which is where the customer is really spending money, right? So so that's a very important dimension which is getting added to the discussions.
Right.
I think the other part that we all know, that retail sector is in the news all the time. I mean, starting from companies like Amazon to Flipkart to Reliance Retail to Big Basket and everything, and of course Bata and Daikin included. But the fact is, I mean, some statistics tell me that we are about $800 billion of retail industry as of now, and as a market, and we are very well placed to double or even triple in the next 5 years, right? So which means we will become about a $2 trillion industry, retail itself by 2026. Which also tells all of us that all of you are sitting on an opportunity, and I'm sure each one of you are finding ways to maximize on that opportunity, right? And there's significant opportunity of growth. I mean, we're going to add as much as what we've added to the retail in the next 5 years itself. I mean, from the time the retail started to whatever we are today, we're going to double that up in the next 5 years. So exciting times. But at the same point in time, I think all of us also know that if there's one thing which has changed in all of this transformation that we keep discussing about, is really the customer, right?
Yes.
It is, and it is said that in almost all industries, I mean, irrespective of retail, but in almost all industries, customers have changed far more radically than the organizations.
Right.
Right. So customers, are younger, they are smarter, they are more aware. There is more disposable income. They don't differentiate between their online and offline personas. Right, they expect seamless journeys. So customers really have changed radically, right? And their expectations, and given the digital experiences, they expect everything right here, right now, discounted, free, etc., right? Pickable, replaceable, returnable, all of that,
Right.
Now, the fact is, managing all of these customer expectations is your people, right? So it is customer expectations on one side, and then really your people who are managing all these expectations, right? So I think what we would want to start with is really your pointers specifically from a people perspective. So what are some specific things you are doing in your respective organizations to get your people skilled and equipped, both from a capability perspective and a mindset perspective, to on one side address this changing or evolved customer or customer who's radically changed, and on the other side, of course, maximize on the growth opportunity.
Right.
So Rajesh, if I can request you to go first.
So good morning, everyone. As you rightly said, that next couple of years, I mean, if I take last couple of years, the consumer is becoming extremely demanding. So expectations have been rising year after year, and they want everything right first time. They want everything quick. And specifically to our industry, I represent air conditioning industry. So since we're talking about retail, so we are talking about residential air conditioning industry. Okay, we have a big challenge. We have to install the product at the customer's house, and we have to provide preventive maintenance service and maintenance service, and that has to be rendered at customer's place. So the biggest challenge for us is that the availability of service technicians, in India. So one is the availability. So you have plenty of manpower available through ITI institutes, but the quality of this manpower is a very big challenge. So we have to hire these guys. We have to train them, not only the installation skills and technical training, but also the behavioral training. How do you conduct yourself when you meet a customer, reaching customer, right from fixing up an appointment for installation or service, meeting the customer, greeting the customer when you enter his house, and how do you keep, how do you engage with the customer? How do you communicate with the customer and then carry out the job? So these are some of the huge challenges that we face on service side. On sales side also, in the retail industry, typically we have these in-shop sales demonstrators. Now they are the availability of these guys. I mean, you don't get very smart guys who will join as in-shop sales demonstrator. So you have to train these people, and most of these guys in our industry are on a third-party role. So we have to train them and retain them. So the issue in service as well as also in sales is the retention. In service specifically, there is more than 50% attrition rate, and I'm talking about the entire industry, not only specific to my company, because these guys, after 2-3 years of experience, they become they start servicing on a chargeable basis on their own with customers. Plus, the Middle East is a very big market for air conditioning, and most of the talent, especially service, is sourced from India. So these guys, some of them go to Middle East, some of them become entrepreneur. So this is a huge challenge that we continue to face. Air conditioning industry, residential air conditioning industry, the penetration rate for air conditioners is very low, 6 to 7%. And we have a huge growth potential in the immediate term and also in the future. So coming to pre-COVID and post-COVID, so when the COVID came, we were all scared. We didn't know how long it will take for industry to come back. But to our surprise, when we opened up, the lockdown opened up in the month of June 2020, there was a big demand for air conditioner. And this work from home and study from home has actually created a very big demand for residential air conditioning industry. And keeping people, retaining them, with iteration rate being so high. And the other thing is the geography spread. I mean, we have tier 1 town, tier 2 town, tier 3 town, and tier 4 towns. So we have to continuously hire people and continuously train these people and engage with them on a real-time basis. So the industry definitely, using all the modern technologies which are available today with us. We're also engaging with third-party, third-party companies to carry out, to impart training, and we also put together training institutes of our own. So we have 2 institutes. One is called Airconditioning Development Center, where we provide basically technical training for our own staff and our dealers and our channel partners, service authorized service partners. And we have also now, put together a new development center. It's called Daikin, Jime. So this gym concept it has come through between. I mean, this was basically in some kind of collaboration between India and Japan, initiated by the Prime Minister of India and the ex-Prime Minister of Japan, Abe. And we have opened up Daikin Gym, where we pick up people from nearby small towns and small institutes and train them on manufacturing techniques, Japanese manufacturing techniques. So we have opened a gym. In the gym, we are focusing on manufacturing and also on sales and service trainings for our employees. We are also trying to, have some kind of collaboration with academia. So we opened what's called as Center of Excellence in diploma colleges, ITI, and also engineering colleges, where we are able to impart, training and we teach them about air conditioning and refrigeration, because this subject is not taught in many colleges. So these are some of the initiatives we have taken, but the challenge is big. The growth, air conditioning industry has been growing almost 10 to 15% year after year. And the growth, if we do not have people to install and to sell, we cannot support the growth.
Okay. No, thanks, Rajesh. That was very helpful. And Pankaj, if I can also bring you in at the same point. I think Rajesh specifically spoke about in-store sales representative, and I think that's where the first touch point really is. In addition to the marketing touch point, which happens a bit earlier, but the first customer interaction starts happening at the customer touch point. And of course, like Rajesh said, in-store sales representative is that touch point, and that challenge is very large, and also very large given the fact that you all of you have very large distributed sales teams, right? And as you guys are growing in tier 2, tier 3 cities, this challenge is then further multiplying. Okay. But I know Bata drives 2 clear metrics very, very well. One, conversion as compared to footfall into the stores, and then transactions per, the billing value per transaction. So again, on that point, how are you enabling these store sales representative to really serve the customer well and give them a great experience, because that's what the customer expects.
So two pieces, I think, Bimal, as you already mentioned, that the customer expectation has changed, and rightly so. And I think the lines between e-com and physical brick and mortar stores are getting all the more finer as we go. And any retailer can only sustain only if you are a true omni-channel retailer. And if you're able to give a seamless experience between what you see online versus what you see in a brick and mortar store. So what's happening, I think, is one, I think in our whole strategy, we have brought people, our internal teams at the Paramount in the heart of the whole strategy we made going forward. I think I think we have relooked at the whole employee life cycle of our employees. We relooked at all the critical pain points and how do we make them happy. And before we now go on to see an NPS or a customer experience score outside of the actual customer, we started measuring it for our internal people itself. So which is the NPS score for our internal teams. Also, I think we've relooked at the way, I think, and the challenges are not very different the way Rajesh has explained. It's very, very very similar in terms of being able to get people on board, get them to train, right? So I think we really looked at the hiring strategy, the career ladders, especially at this level at store. I think the people really change jobs for a very small amount. And I think it's more than the amount, it is the whether am I able to see consistent growth in the organization as well. So we relooked at the career ladders for them. So we redefined the career ladders. And we now it's the responsibility lies not only with the employee, also with the organization, that our every employee moves up the ladder. And which is why we started thing called internal first. So instead of looking at bringing external talent at all levels, we started looking at these junior to mid-level roles where we see the most challenge for now. We started looking at people to grow internally first, and we get them to train for the levels which could come in for future. So we identify the competencies and skill sets in which they probably are lacking, and they need more work to do, and we brush it up on them, get them mentors, get them buddies to get them along in the journey of being able to grow. I think, and from customer experience side on technology, what has happened is we've, as I said, that the lines are becoming blurred. We have launched every customer who comes into my store expect me to have as big assortment as what they see on Amazon or Flipkart. But obviously there is a physicality of a retail store. So we started something called FAP, where it's a whole customer journey. All moments of truth are being enabled digitally. And I think that's been the work which has happened in the last 18, 24 months, where we've trained our teams to become from salespeople to more like consultants or specialists on being able to recommend some of it. While the customer goes through the digital journey from selection of an article to be able to see what's available in the store, to be able to buy from another store, or to buy eventually from our website.
Yeah. No, thanks, Pankaj. I think another important dimension I do want to touch upon is, there is this element of the customer journey which moves in a horizontal manner, right? I mean, customer gets attracted by marketing and then comes to the store or to a website, right? And then of course buys the product, and there is this operation, billing, everything happening, and then is expecting service, right? So the customer is moving horizontally in his journey, right? But organizations, and many of us, are structured vertically. So we have everyone holding the customer in silo for some time, right? Marketing holds the customer for a few moments, passes on to sales, right? Passes on to finance, passes on to ops, passes on to XYZ, and right. So again, on this dimension of how are you ensuring that the organization is designed in line with the customer expectation, and we're not getting the customer to align because we have departments and units and everyone else internally. Pankaj, why don't you go first this time?
So on Bimal, on this one, I think absolutely with you, and I think it's 24 to 36 months back, if we had this conversation, I think we would have not realized probably the silos that any organization would have been operating in, and the way customer wants a more seamless effort from all. So I think which is more towards moving towards a one team, one goal, right? Ideology, wherein everybody is obsessed about customer service, and everybody has one goal around being able to get customer happy when he moves into the store. And I think it would lead to more integrated structures across retail. And I think the lines of functions, verticals needs to move away. And I think some of it of that we have been able to move successfully, and we've been able to move towards a more cohesive unit having common goals. It's not now a marketing team deciding in isolation on what will they do for customer, while a marketing, training, L&D, human resource, operations, finance coming together and identifying what all everybody can do to move up in terms of every moment of truth a customer faces, or every touch point a customer faces in a store.
Sure. No, that is an important element. Rajesh, you want to quickly come in on that point, on how are you structuring as an organization?
So, I think Pankaj has broadly talked about the best practices. How do we align other departments, especially finance and internal departments. So there is a customer-facing department and there is an internal department. So we have trained these guys. We have aligned these guys. So we have to work as a team, and there are KPIs for each department, and the customer is at the center of everything that we do. Plus, other than KPI, we monitor their performance, and there is certain amount of variable salary which is paid to each employee in the company, and the KPIs are the customer related KPI. How do you service your customer? How do you engage with your customer? How do you make the customer journey seamless? So we have, in our case, we deal with customers, some of the customers directly ourselves. So for us, there are two customers. One is the customers who are buying the product, and also our dealers are our customers, because they buy our product and they sell our product. Okay. So customer facing activities are done at the dealer's place, not at our place. We engage with our dealer. So our prime customer is our dealer. Okay. And some of the institutional customers whom we service directly, so they are our customers. So we have strategies, different strategies for both the segment of the market. So one is the dealer. Now dealer, we have a concept of relationship manager. Now there is a person from sales who manages the dealer relationship, and internally, if dealer needs something with our internal finance department, he will coordinate with finance department and make sure that finance responds to whatever is required by our dealer partner. And if dealer has any issue or support requires from service, then he will coordinate with the service and make sure that we are able to support him so that the customer delivery, from the dealer is seamless. So these are a couple of things we've been doing. So internally, we have structured the organization and provided KPI for all the departments, including marketing, sales, and service, finance, and even HR, because we were talking about the in-shop demonstrator. Now they have to be hired through third party. They have to be trained on product, on behavioral skills, on soft skills, and we have to monitor his performance. Our salespeople have to interact with the ISDs on a regular basis, collect some kind of MIS on a daily basis. How many customers, what was the customer footfall, how many customers they were able to convert, and what kind of issues they are facing to convert the customer, and what kind of objections they are not able to handle when the customer is walking in. And also, how do you take care of the pricing issues? Because now you have too many channels. You have online channel, you have offline channel, and within offline channel, you have multiple dealers. So, this concept of relationship manager, one relationship manager to handle our dealer and ISDs, all issues, and within the organization, the KPI for all the departments, and we try to work as a team to deliver what customer wants. And I think
that's an important element, Rajesh, like you said, because I think all you retail organizations like the dimension you added of distributed sales team or your dealer sales team, and then earlier in the Bata example we spoke about how the distributed sales team. So what we've been doing is we've been working with many of our customers in the retail sector, to address such requirements of distributed sales teams, whether own distributed, diverse, sales team, and there also the problem is, both in metro, the problem may be a little different versus problem in tier 2, tier 3 sales teams. Then, the distributed sales team, which is the dealer network or your franchise network sales team. And then, like you said, the service guy who's going into the house. So we working with, many of our clients, including Bata and Daikin, and have put up a digital platform to solve many of these problems. I would now want to take another 2 minutes to play a quick video on that platform, and then I have a specific question for you, Pankaj and Rajesh, and towards once we play this video. So Can I request if we can have the video now, please? Okay. No, thanks. Uh, uh, so Pankaj and Rajesh, like I was sharing, so many of the problems that you spoke about, which is distributed, very diverse teams, spread out, also wanting very personalized learning paths, given at the communication level or the skill level that they are at, or the role that they are doing, and then their roles are moving. The guy who's right now in the store is becoming a store manager. So our ability to then both control learning, make learning very personalized, deliver learning in a large scale distributed manner, of course, has gone up incrementally with this solution. But I know we are on top of our time, but just one very quick comment, Pankaj and Rajesh, on your experience of implementing such digital learning tools in your organizations.
So I think the only piece it's been a fantastic learning from both sides, not only for employees but also for us. How customized and personalization we expected them to have, and what are their expectations. And I think the big piece that we saw was the being able to give a transparency to them on what's my next level, and empowering them to not only there's no more enforcement required. They themselves know where can I go and how do I go on this app and learn on it. And I think that's been the big success around being able to have despite being present in 500 cities, being able to have a platform like what we just saw being implemented and being absorbed to that level that 98-99% people are hooked onto the app. And I think that's the success of the app.
Thanks. Pankaj, any quick comment from your sorry, Rajesh, any quick comment from your side?
Yeah, I think, this was something that was needed very badly. So we've been evaluating for a couple of years because, number of people, sheer number of people, if I talk about, let's say, in-shop sales demonstrator, we have more than 4,000 numbers.
Yeah.
And almost more than 10 to 15,000 numbers are the servicemen, which are hired by, who are working for us through our service network and franchise. So, giving them training, both functional training, which is technical training, and also the soft skills of handling customer and behavioral training. Plus, I also talked to you about the attrition rate. So there is a perpetual, you need to impart training on a perpetual basis.
Yeah.
So you have people coming in somewhere, people going out somewhere. So we wanted a platform. We wanted a digital platform where we can deliver the trainings, both recorded trainings and also online trainings and also offline trainings. So I think we've been able to put together this system with the help of NIIT, and we've been able to, especially, and this entire exercise was done during the COVID times, and we find it very, very useful.
Thank you.
In our case, this is a perpetual job that we have to carry out. See, our products, we keep on changing our product, bring new product year after year. Within, even during the course of the year, there will be new product introduced. So we have to impart training on the product, the installation and service requirement of the product, and also to our internal people. So the overall number of people which are available for training, our own people, our dealer people, our franchisee, and our ISDs, the number become very, very high. And having a partner like NIIT and use the digital technologies and use these platforms which you have built in imparting training has been a great experience. Also, I think it is a need of the hour. I mean, it's impossible to.
Thank you, Rajesh.
It's impossible to. It is impossible to train these guys physically without using technologies, modern technologies.
Sure. With Daikin as well, and I know we have completely extended our time, but thank you very much, Rajesh and Pankaj. It's a pleasure to both hear you. Like I said, you added an important element to the discussion, and a pleasure to partner with you. Thank you very much. Dilip, over to you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. And thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, gentlemen.